I mean, I think the normal response you'd have that I would have is, you got to post more, you got to drive the ball more, you have to be aware of like when you're actually in the bonus more, and some of those things we have to do better. And I think some of it is, like people are guarding us a certain way where they're just, playing more paint stuff and really going under on a lot of our stuff, off ball screens, on ball screens, baiting us to shoot. And we have been shooting. They haven't been going in as much as we had hoped. But I think the free throw thing stems from some of that. Like we're kind of taking what the game has given us, and it hasn't translated into, like driving it into traffic, foul, post bully ball foul. We need to get to the line more. But, excuse me, some of it I think is for those reasons. Yeah.
Is there even more emphasis being put on Ben just because he's so good at that? That's something you wanted.
I mean, when in like when I go back and watch the tape, and you've watched all the like the fourth periods, of the last three games, and you watched the Orlando game, and they really are they're an excellent defensive team, and we didn't respond well in the fourth period to some stuff, and so to your question of Ben, people are cramming it up, and so we can say, well, don't worry about it, drive the ball. It's not real smart when you're running into three people. And so I think, like, he's been sort of, I put him in a lot more screening situations and rolling, hoping to get him involved that way. But I think the free throw thing and the Ben thing that you just asked about are kind of the same answer.
Brett, outside of that, the free throw thing, what's the biggest thing that you want to improve upon tonight, from the last game?
Here's the bottom line. If we can make shots and not turn the ball over, our defense is good enough to win games. And I'll see you tomorrow. It really is. Like, we can do, we can all like do what you do, and so do I. But you cut to the chase. The extraordinary drought that we have been in is rare. And I think that it is an outlier and abnormal and will not continue. And I'm actually doubling down and going the other way, just making sure nobody's gun shy. We're not taking. I've seen all the threes. We're not putting up bad threes. It's swing, open three. It's not. There are a few early in the clock and trail, but Al and Joe are capable shooters. And so, like, am I upset about, like, we're taking terrible threes, contested? No. And so, it's interesting. Like, I think we're third or fourth in offensive rebounding, which we'd want to be, because there's a lot to get lately. And I think that, in general, like, if we can make more than we have been making, and I believe we will, and we can have some semblance of order and just normalness, and not cough balls up as much as we have been doing, I think just from a possession standpoint, you're going to see favorable results. And I say those two things. You asked the question, what's most on my mind? Those two things.
And how do you, I know you said shooting the ball, but how do you get Tobias back more confident, more comfortable? Do you, like, do an inside-out game? I mean, like, initially have him post up, score, and then gradually go out?
We do that.
Yeah.
Like, we do that. When you look at, like, where he's getting his shots, he's posted, drives, he's got catch shot threes. And I think, like, remember the days where Cov was he 0 for 20 and 19, one of the starts, and Philly was on him. And, he just plowed through. And, Tobias can score in such a variety of ways. And, he's been missing, and making some in all over the court. And that's not going to continue. You don't do what he's done in his career, and you just judge his history statistically and think, like, that's who he is. It's not who he is. And so how do we get him going again? We just do what we've been doing, and I think, like, he's one game away from taking off again. I just think over 82 games, sometimes you get into those funks.